Good morning everyone and welcome back to the Nature Patch. My name is Robyn and today I'm going to be showing you just a few things around the property that I'm doing and a few little updates for my seedlings. It's actually been getting a lot warmer here during the days, which I'm really happy about. The only thing that's got to catch up is the nights. It's still getting down to about 4 degrees some nights, so some of my seedlings aren't too happy about that, and I don't actually have a greenhouse to put any of them in. So I'm doing the best I can, but a lot of the tomato seedlings are all doing really well. I've been taking them in at night so that they can have a little bit more warmth at night. Today one of the main jobs is to keep repairing some of my beds, so all those behind me, they all need a little bit of work and a little bit of amendments. So the first step is to turn my big compost pile that I have. I've got a compost pile in a bin, which I like and I don't like. There's pros and cons to it. Pros is that it kind of keeps everything all contained. The cons is I can't really turn it that easily, so I have to actually lift the whole thing off, as I'm going to show you now, and physically turn the whole thing to get everything ready for spring. So I've been out here for about half an hour already walking Annie, my cat, or else you would hear her crying in the background to come out with me. But I've noticed like the birds are going absolutely crazy. Today I've seen magpies like flying around attacking each other because it's pretty much the start of mating season for all of the birds. So if you hear any crazy noises, it's just the birds around, don't worry. Okay, I'm gonna go do the compost and I'll show you how I'm doing that. But first I wanted to show you how nice the weather is at the moment. The only thing, I just wish there was some rain because everything is super dry. The grass is all brown and crispy, and I'm having to water my plants every day because just there's no moisture in the air as well, so it just kind of evaporates as soon as I water it. But yeah, this is what the property is looking like at the moment. Quite dry. Alright, so I'm going to go over to the compost bin over there and start turning it. Alright, so this is what the pile is looking like now. It's holding its shape pretty well, which I wasn't too sure if it would. That's why I put the tarp up next to it. But of course you can see that the bottom stuff is a lot darker than the top layers. So this is all breaking down really nice. Yeah, it's producing some really nice material. It's not quite done yet, so what I'm going to do is actually flip this whole thing, and everything on the top I'm going to be putting it down the bottom, and I'm going to be putting the bin here, so I'm just going to have to fork it all in. Okay, so that's all turned. Kind of hard work, and I'll show you what it looks like now. Okay, so you can see the dark area there is where the pile used to be, and I've just transferred it all over next to where it used to be into the new pile. So everything that was on the bottom is now on the top. I also took out a lot of the sticks that were down on the very bottom layer that I had in for drainage, because this is only going to be staying for another 2 weeks or so in there. It doesn't really need too much drainage, it should be fine in there. But all of these I'm going to go put on my other compost pile. There's a stack of worms in here. These worms usually go to the very bottom of the pile, so I'm going to put all of these on my new compost pile to give it some more nutrients. And there's also some lemons that I found around the place that the possums have got into, so they'll go on there too. And I also have, I also got some really rough compost out of it. This stuff is really good. And there's heaps of worms in here as well. I'm going to put this onto one of the beds. I'm not too sure which one yet, because all of my beds need a lot more organic matter and compost before I can start planting in them for spring. So I'm gonna go choose one to put this on. Okay, this bucket of sticks is hard to carry, but I'm gonna walk over in the corner here to my other compost pile and dump all of these sticks in there. Right, so that's in there. And I'm just going to keep adding to it and see what it does. Hey everyone, so it is a few days later now. It's Tuesday the 27th of August and I didn't really get to do that much on the weekend. We actually had a birthday thing for my partner with his family, which was really nice. And it was just kind of a bit of a busier weekend doing other things. But I've got a chance today just to get a few more plants in the ground before I go away for a few days. So I've got some seedlings down here. All of these seedlings here are ready to go out. I am going to be keeping some of these to do a plant swap with, but a lot of these, like most of these trays, I'm going to be planting out. So today I'm going to be planting out these ones. So these are Hong Kong broccoli. So these are a really fast growing brassica, so I'm excited just to get these in the ground to get one type of crop of broccoli would be lovely. I tried the other Calabrese broccoli, but I just really epically failed with that, so I'm going to give these a go. You can eat the whole plant. They only have really small broccoli stalks, but you can eat the whole plant, so I'll be using that for greens as well. And in here I've also got these ones here are Chinese broccoli, so they're pretty similar in that you can eat the whole plant, but they just don't have a massive broccoli head on it. And I think I might plant out these, or some of these. These are endive, a really pretty salad leaf. And I have more cos lettuce that need to go out, but I think I'm just going to start with getting all of these in the ground today in a space that I've prepared where my radishes were. So I might just do these and see how I go with the others. So these are going to go over there in that main back bed. In this bed here I've got all my beetroots coming along nicely. These are all going to be harvested ASAP because we need to eat them. They're all going to seed, all the pak choy and bok choy. And my cos lettuce are doing great. They're starting to get some nice heads on them. And yeah, snow peas need a water, but all of my flowers are coming up with my snow peas, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, I'm just going to plant these in this row here, maybe some just interspersed in here, just to get them in the ground because they really need to go out. So I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, it's a bit hard to see, but I planted a row of the Hong Kong broccoli just through there in between the peas and the beetroot, and just some random ones where I could fit them, and then I had a lot more. So I just planted a little patch up the back there, and I'm going to be planting cucumbers along here. So hopefully they'll be done before the cucumbers, but it won't really matter anyway because the cucumbers are going to trellis up this anyway. One of the other jobs that I really need to get done is potting up all of my tomato seedlings because they're all getting quite big in these pots, and I need to put them into their own individual pots so that I can get ready to plant them in the ground in the next few weeks. In here I actually planted all of my cherry tomatoes in smaller modules, and they got their true leaves at a smaller size. So these got their true leaves, so this is kind of a comparison of size difference. It's ridiculously different. These ones here in the pots did go a little bit leggy. It doesn't quite matter with tomatoes because you can plant them a bit deeper and their roots will still grow. So these ones I just have to be a bit more delicate when I take them out and prick them out. So I've done those 4 over there. I've got to do the other 4, and I'm going to leave these in here until I get back from my trip and do them next week. And then yeah, all of my okra is growing nicely. I'm holding back on a bit of water on these, which they seem to be liking a little bit more. They've started to get their true leaves, and I'm going to pot these up when I get back from my trip. So I've got all my green okra and red okra. And then this is what I am putting my tomatoes into. I'm putting them into cardboard pots pretty much, and these will decompose right in the soil, so I won't have to transplant them again from this stage here. So yeah, I've got my 3 varieties of each, and then I'll see how they go. And all of the other ones that I'm not planting up in here, I will be using with some local plant swaps around. I'm going to be swapping them for other plants that I don't have, and other things like eggs, honey, things like that, so they will not go to waste. So it's a pretty simple process. I've got my cup here. I'm going to be doing my beefsteak tomatoes and putting them 3 of these little seedlings into these cups. And so I've got these here. They will drain themselves, but I am going to just put a little hole in them with a knife, just to give them a little bit more drainage. So I get my cup and I've got my bucket of soil. This is the last remaining soil that I have. I need to go buy more. Just worrying because I'm spending so much money on it, but it's okay. Gotta do what you gotta do. And then I just... Alright, so I just fill them all up like that. And then I have all of my labels as well. These I just made out of old milk cartons. I just cut them up and they work perfectly fine with a permanent marker on them. And then all I do is take my plant and I try and find an area where you've got 3 plants fairly closely clumped together that are at a reasonable size. So I think these 3 here are all fairly close in a line. I'm probably not going to do that one, but I pick 3 close in a line so that I can prick them out. So I use whatever you've got really. This is just a paddle pop stick. And I just put them down and I just put it down. Try not to disturb any of the other roots and just lift it up really gently. Really nice and loose. So I can pull them out. And then I just try and pat all the other ones down that were a bit disturbed and fill it up with a bit of soil. And then these can all keep growing until I'm ready to pot them up as well for the plant swap and to give to friends. And so when you're removing seedlings from each other, it's always good to pull from the leaves rather than the base. You're less likely to damage the roots when you do that. So I've got my pot, just make a little hole with my finger. And I'm going to put it down to about here or so, and all of down here will start growing roots, and this will just give it a little bit more extra support to grow nice and strong. And just pat it down, and that's it. So I'm going to get on and do all of these, and I'll show you what they all look like when I'm finished. Okay, so that's all of them done. I have 3 of each of all of the bigger tomatoes now, so I'm going to go and give these a good water because they're already starting to droop a little bit. It's supposed to rain today. We're supposed to get storms, but I still see lots of blue sky around, so not sure what's happening with that. So I'm going to get on to watering some of these. It's just so dry in southeast Queensland at the moment, and I know it's dry a lot of other places, so I know a lot of other places are struggling as well, and let's just hope that we get some rain soon, or else this year is going to be really challenging with gardening unless I get some kind of irrigation system set up, which I'm thinking about doing sprinklers, but you know, something I don't really want to have to do. And the grass, like as you can see behind me, there's like hardly no grass, so it just looks really dry and crispy. So I'm hoping we get that storm this afternoon as the weather forecasts, but until then I am just gonna have to keep watering. I'm gonna keep on watering some of these plants and then head inside and do some more work. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little random jobs around the garden video. I hope you are getting more rain than I am at the moment. Thanks so much for all of the support that I've gotten on some of my videos, and yeah, look out for my August garden tour coming up soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Happy gardening. Bye.